I've noticed that there are two ways of doing things that I've observed. One of them is the Anglosphere way, the way that United States, UK, Australia, Canada does things. And another way that Asia and certain parts of Eastern Europe do things. And everyone else like falls somewhere in the middle. And this means that when the West judges something, it judges it mostly on is it moral. And they don't necessarily apply the Bible, although sometimes they do. They apply like the current zeitgeist, the current cultural trends. So the last decade was, is it moral from a woke point of view? You know, like, does it help with diversity? Does it help with inclusivity? And so, like, even if you had something that's pragmatic and useful, if it was politically incorrect, it was discarded. Now, during the Bush era, they would use the Bible, right? And it was like, is it moral from that point of view? But again, like, the main point here is that people in the West constantly, like, put morality first. And usually you notice this when the government tries to sell something to people. They sell it from a moral lens. They don't say, we're going to go to the Middle East because that's where the oil is, and that's where the resources are, and we need to control the area so that our competitors don't get it. No, they will say, like, we're going to the Middle East to spread democracy, or we're going to the Middle East in order to, I don't know, spread LGBT issues, which they actually did in Afghanistan, right? Like, they had Kabul women's studies and shit. Japan and Eastern Europe don't work like that. Japan and Eastern Europe don't care if something is moral or not. They care if something is pragmatic. Like, is this thing actually useful? What does it do? And when Japan looked at anime, they realized, well, first of all, it's a $1 billion industry now. It's bigger than Hollywood. And so it generates a lot of tax revenue. It generates a lot of tourism. And it generates a lot of soft power. And so you may have, like, children growing up with anime, and those kids know nothing about Japan. But when they grew up and one of their politicians says something negative about Japan, those kids are going to say, well, hold on a little bit. That's Japan. Why are you talking shit about them? America used to have that power. When America had the golden age of Hollywood, Eastern Europe was bombarded with Hollywood movies, and they caused a lot of awe. Not necessarily because of the stories that America's made, but the production quality, you know, like seeing a nation being able to do certain things that no other country could, like the level of special effects and the level of awe that watching the Terminator 2 caused at the time, was definitely making people think that, okay, America is a civilization above all others. And when we grew up, a lot of people in Romania have this pathological affection towards America. Like, if you try to say anything negative about America, they freak out. Now, by the way, I do agree with that, but I agree that not because America made good movies, but because I understand the geopolitical reality. However, like a lot of other Romanians, they don't know anything about the geopolitical reality. They just love America unconditionally, right? And so Japan realizes that they too have the same opportunity with anime. Now, again, when America looked at Hollywood, they looked at it from a moral lens. And they're saying, you know, is it moral to show tits on TV? No. Okay, well, censor it. Game of Thrones, Spartacus, no more. Is it okay to have messages that are politically incorrect? No. Okay, well, censor it. South Park, you know, get rid of Apu from Simpsons. Get rid of this, get rid of that. Stop doing this, stop doing that. And they bureaucratize their entire entertainment industry until it is what it is now, you know, and it goes deeper than that. Not just the stories, but the people that work there. They don't ask, is this a good artist that can draw? No, they ask, has he said anything politically incorrect on Twitter in the last 5 years? And if yes, get him fired. Put a lady in his place. Put a black woman and make her gay. And so Japan doesn't want to end like that, right? Especially because America now is realizing that it's competing with Japan when it comes to music, when it comes to the entertainment industry, and it's getting dominated badly. Like, Disney is getting BTFO'd by anime. Hollywood is a shadow of its former self. And so if they can't up their game, if they can't start making good shit again, they can at least try and destroy their competition. And the way they're destroying their competition is using payment processors, is using streaming services and forcing TOS on the anime. It's It's basically like trying to force anime to work with their contractors and their consultants in order to bring anime down to the same level of Marvel and DC. And so the Japanese government seems to not want any of that shit. And they're actually going to invest resources and treat the anime industry not as a joke, not something for kids, but something of national interest. The same way Germany treats its car companies. Well, probably better than Germany treats its car companies because they're sabotaging them now. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like they're treating it as a national industry. Kind of like the French protect their wine industry. Or the Italians protect their olive oil industry. Like, Japan isn't looking at anime anymore and they're saying, well, it's cartoon for kids or it's nonsense. No, they're saying, like, this is a product that people around the world want and it's making us money. We don't care how or why. Keep it the way it is. Don't change it. Keep it the way it is, because if you change it, we can end up like the Americans. So the world hasn't imploded, you know, like crime rates are on top. Keep it the way it fucking is. And the government is willing to now put money on it. And initially, I was very skeptical because, again, I come from Eastern Europe, right? So I see what the EU does. Usually, when the government invests money into something, there's a lot of strings attached. And that's where the censorship comes in. That's where the bureaucracy of art comes in. You know, imagine tasking the drawing of Mona Lisa, but you're like, nah, but I don't like the smile that she had. No, can you make her more fat? You know, can you make her black so we can have some representation, right? Like, that's not how art is made. And I was worried that Japan is going to do the same, but apparently not. Like, apparently they're saying, like, they want to leave anime the way it is. Like, to not change what the artist is making. And so, the anime industry was definitely struggling. Like, a lot of anime schools were being closed. And a lot of the ground level staff was being underpaid significantly. Especially, you know, like their wages look impressive, but when you realize they live in Tokyo, you understand the horror that the animators go through. And so if the government comes in and gives them money, well, it could actually help them. The only problem is that the censorship of anime was never coming from Japan. It was coming from the streaming services, from the consultants, from regulations that are being passed around the world. And so that's the biggest problem. Now, is this going to make anime better? Probably not. Because like, if you guys watched the animes from the past, you would notice that they're very different than the ones from now. Like, they're more tame when it comes to fan service. They're more tame when it comes to violence. Because again, like, they're trying to reach the wider audience. But I do think like it's going to try to slow down the rot. Because if you're getting like government grants, you may not really care if Netflix signs that deal. As long as you can get the deal with Crunchyroll. So we'll see. More importantly though, well, I'm curious like if the payment processors are going to keep bullying Japan's entertainment industry now that the government is signaling and is saying, no, like this is a vital industry for us. Right? Like, it's producing billions of dollars. Why shouldn't we care about it? Like, regardless of how moral you think it is, okay, fine, it's immoral. Great, don't fucking watch it. Like, we don't watch it either, but we get the tax revenue, right? And in a country where they're keeping complaining about the birth rates, having an industry that's very cheap to manufacture, right? Because they're not making computer chips, they're not making satellites, they're making fucking drawings and animating them, right? So something that's very cheap to manufacture and has like so much returns and people around the world want to see it, yeah, let's not fuck with it and let's consider it an industry of national importance. So yeah, good on them. I'm curious to see like what anime is going to come like 3 or 4 years from now, because only then you will see the results, right? It usually takes a long time in order to get an anime approved all the way up until the screening. So we'll see in 2030. If this made any difference. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.